Hello, friends, and welcome to a first in a long line of Smite series. No, not really. I've got nothing. We're doing a 3v3 joust in Smite. I'm playing SOBEK, my friend Yospi is playing Fenrir, and some random dude is Giannis. We are playing against world champions Cloud9. Well, two members of them, and then TSM, which is some good, some bad. The boosh. Whatever. Anyway, so we're facing Snoopy, MLC Stealth, and Omega, who have deigned to play all hunters. In theory, they should have won if they had gotten to late game, but alack, they did not. This is a very exciting game because most of the time when you're queuing with one or two people, you don't get to play with, for lack of a better term, pros. But this is a good experience. Whenever you play against people that are better than you, they tend to make you better as a result. You tend to play just a little bit better too. And that was really good. I made several mistakes throughout the game. I missed a couple of SOBEK pulls, which, most of the time you can miss a couple. I don't really fault myself too harshly, especially for some of these ones with. See that? I'm gonna die here, and it's gonna be first blood, which is very frustrating, but whatever. I bought Midgardian Mail first, which is a very good item for ADC counter. Or to counter ADCs, I should say. So that's just a good thing to bear in mind. It has a 30% chance to slow your opponent and slow their attack speed, which is cool. Whatever. So ADCs and assassins really, really perform poorly against this item. There's that. So the other team is Cupid, Amuzen Cobb, and Medusa. This is about a 20-minute game, so I hope you all are comfortable. So when playing SOBEK, the key is the first few levels you aren't going to perform that great, provided you can get some pretty quality plucks or you get an ultimate off or something. The benefit of playing against an all-physical team is that I don't really have to worry about magic defense, although I do kind of screw that up later on. I bought a tier 1 of Creeping Curse as well, and the reason I did that is because it's eventually going to become an Enfeebling Curse, which is particularly effective against hunters, since Enfeebling Curse debuffs attack speed for, I think, 3, 4, 5 seconds, somewhere in there. I'm not very good with the specifics of these items. I do know what they are good for, though. So I guess that's shame on me, really. And that's a pull. It's pretty straightforward to get the pull. You just have to be a bit more careful about it. Yeah, but that's our first kill. We pick off Stealth, who really was just kind of stuck out in the open. All of these everybody with the exception of AMC has a, that was frustrating. If I had hit the tail whip, it might have set up for another kill, but, whatever. I do end up getting a pretty hefty kill streak, though, later on, which is exciting. If you're playing SOBEK as a tank, mobility is very important. So I definitely would recommend buying a winged blade at some point, or maxing out boots. You want to do a little bit of both. But as far as boots go, I prefer both cooldown and damage depending on the situation. Since we already have a Giannis who does pretty high magical damage, I felt that I could go cooldown. To get the plucks off quicker, to do the tail whip more, really whatever the situation calls for. well, it's good that we didn't fight there. It's kind of awkward. Yeah, and I really kind of fucked that up too. Your charge prey is really good for picking targets, but it's alternatively quite bad because it's basically your only escape, not counting your ultimate, which will get you out of most situations, but in order for it to be the most effective, yeah. Most of the time, if I'm playing SOBEK, if I get a pluck, it will mean, oh, I guess I did go power boots. Most of the time, if I get a pluck, it will mean my death if it's before, like, and if it's in the middle of a fight, basically. The Giannis really fucks up here. The AMC turns around and ults him and kills him, which puts Snoopy on a rampage on AMC, which most of the time should have been GG. AMC is such a monster if you feed him. He just has high attack speed, pretty high mobility, even. Just pretty quality across the board. Yeah. Anywho, I keep trying to improve in Smite. I wish that I had better luck. Most of the time I have to solo queue, which is not as fun as it sounds. I used to prefer to solo queue. Now I really don't. So, yeah, we're slowly climbing back in there. Very slowly. Yeah. For those of you who don't know, SOBEK's passive is every melee attack he gets increased physical protections for like 2 to 3 seconds. And honestly, it's not that helpful. SOBEK does fight. He does fight at melee range most of the time. In fact, pretty much all of his abilities are melee range or so. But you know, and you can see it on my armor as well. The little glowing yellow thing indicates that the passive is active, so that's cool. The passive is active. There's a wonderful English sentence. The tail whip 2 is pretty good at keeping people in tower range. I actually end up getting an achievement at the end of this for plucking 15 people into tower range, and the funny thing about that is that all of those plucks were in this game. So, and there's the enfeebling curse coming out. Really, we got hammered early on, and then really had to turn it around. We really had to not play to win, because I always play to win, but we had to play pretty hardcore. Not hardcore. There's a word I'm looking for that I'm not finding. We had to play with a lot of focus. God, I sound like all the words I hate, basically. I tried to activate the curse there, and I just did not succeed. Luckily, I had started out mid-Guardian Mail, which guaranteed that I wouldn't die there, which is handy. They did not quite succeed in taking our Phoenix the first push, which is great because, you know, what are you going to do? Okay, this is kind of funny. I did not know that you could, well, and here follows a little bit of a chase with Bro Mega. Mine was very much off. He's going to get the thing onto me. I'm going to tail whip him against the wall. And eventually he's going to die. Because I flipped him into Phoenix range. And that 1 second little divot that he spent in Phoenix range, I got a kill for it. So props to me. This is going to allow me to finish up my Breastplate of Valor for the cooldown and the mana. SOBEK doesn't really need to worry about mana. His ultimate, for those of you who don't know, does a shit ton of damage if you charge it up all the way. It also regens either 50 or 75% of your mana. I don't quite remember. But it's a very, very helpful ult. I can understand why people are trying to play him in the solo lane in Conquest. I don't think it's a viable solution. You really you need somebody. I mean, he's a great frontline, but he's only got like one utility, and occasionally he can zone people out. So, for those of you who don't know what that means, don't worry about it. I'm just trying to sound a lot more intelligent when it comes to Smite than I am with Battlefield, where I'm actually intelligent, and Smite, where I just pretend. Oh, and that's the other thing. When SOBEK really, well, he's gonna die here. Medusa will die here, and I'm just gonna Cupid behind us. Ah, blocked by a minion. Now this team comp is actually quite. We did a good job drafting. Even I mean there weren't any picks or bans or anything, but we did a very good job. We picked gods which, well, kind of scale into the late game. Not. Yeah, I had to save my bro there. I got a killing spree for that. I actually ended the game with the most kills on our team, which is kind of ironic because SOBEK is not known for his kill potential. No, I decided to go into Witchblade. Really helpful item against anybody who has like a fast attack chain. It's really good if you're going against an Osiris or an Muzen Cobb or pretty much anybody with a lot of high base physical power, and yeah, there's a lot that can be said about it. But it also increases your attack speed in addition to debuffing whoever's in like 45 feet of you, so that's also really helpful. I had thought about playing Geb for this game. I'm glad I didn't. I think SOBEK is a very good showcase for what the god can do. Not the weakest god in Smite, I think it needs to be said. I think that is probably Cabrakan or Arachne. I think that both of them need something more to happen to them for them to become like tournament viable. He's gonna take that. Yaspi's gonna take out the Medusa. I am gonna take out the Cupid, and I'm gonna tail whip and completely jack the. Well, I jacked the double kill. Not the greatest thing for me. If you're wondering what those are beehives from a Muzen Cobb. They're a pretty key part of his kit that they give him. For the more of them. Well, the more he levels them up, the faster he gets, and the more HP 5 that they give him. So, very helpful. And you can just see there, I can get in, get a couple tower hits, and dash out. He's really kind of a hit-and-run god in that respect. I've never tried playing him in a 1v1 joust. I'm not really sure I want to. Just not the... He's a fun god, but he's very situational in that respect. I do kind of make a mistake here, or not immediately here, but no, I wanted to get the full thing going on. Debated a little bit about what I should buy. I think I end up selling that item late. I sell several items throughout this game. It's not something you really want to do. You should be more confident than I am in my building choices. Like this dude just... tail whipping completely keeps you in the it'll keep you for just one more tick in tower range, and oh, that bastard. That was a really good use of beads. He beads so that my pluck didn't throw him back. The Giannis, well, we're gonna kill him here anyway. Yeah, he just disintegrates there, so... But he beads so that the pluck wouldn't throw him back. The Giannis and the Fenrir would have been more than enough to take him out. I'm just throwing in some autos. I'm trying to bait him to come a little bit closer. If I had plucked it, it would have been basically the same result. Once Medusa's dashes down, she is really not nearly as mobile as people think she is, even with her passive. So there's that. I'm going to back here and promptly reconsider my buying solution. I I opt for a winged blade, which gives me, it's one of the best items in the game. It gives you 300 health, which is always great, 10% cooldown, 10% attack speed, 10% movement speed. That was the other thing. So really a good item for basically any god. It doesn't get picked up very often on hunters. There's not really a good reason for that. It's not bad. They just have better options. You can itemize a little bit better. And see, I can pick people right into that. It's also great, and there's the achievement popping up in the top right corner. I'm going to take out Medusa here with my Tail Whip of Destiny. I'm going to completely whiff my that, basically. I waited there for my teammates to catch up so that we could optimize the use of the shell, which I bought, which gives me 45 protections for 5 seconds. It's really quite a magnificent item. Yeah, it's high quality. I tried to tank it as best I could. I almost died to it there. Here is where I fuck up. Well, here's where I kind of fuck up. We take out the Phoenix, which is great, and I thought, oh, you know, well, I've said some dumb things, but I guess I can't remember my own game, which is cool. And I just played it too. I pick up I think it's the Dynasty Plate. Yeah, it's the Dynasty Plate helm. Basically what this does, it gives me like some more physical protection because I clearly don't have enough, and it gives me some magical pen and some magical power. I don't really need magical pen at this point, but I'm kind of struggling to find other items with physical defense, so Medusa hits me with Lacerate there, which will reduce my healing by a pretty large portion, so I ult out to make sure. And then I think I sell the Dynasty Plate Helm because... And then... Oh, and then I do something... This is my dumb purchase. I buy a magical defense item. Now, normally this item is great if the other team has any magical damage at all. But they did not, sadly enough. But it would be great. It's good for regeneration. So I get that dude. I throw him up. I throw it up, and what's his name? Kleiss. Kleiss picks up the kill. Basically, that's all of SOBEK's clear right there. It's those two abilities and occasionally something else. Yeah, and I just wanted to throw in some damage on the Titan, just to kind of harass a little bit. There's a Cupid. Well, Omega is there. Just to kind of make sure we don't do too much damage to it. But yeah, this was a really fun game. We were not really expecting to win, because these guys are, you know, all incredibly proficient at what they do. Weren't really expecting to win. Still did a pretty good job, all things considered. I am going to end up selling the Stone of Gaia because it just wasn't. It didn't occur to me that I didn't really need that. And I think I sell it and replace it with a Hide of Nemean, which reflects 20% damage of all basic attacks. To that. And that guy, if you can't read the chat, because it's kind of unclear, he's basically making the same comment that I just did, that I didn't really need the Stone of Gaia. But I can get the Hide of Nemean, which I purchase now, and that's the last thing that I get. So, pardon me. What else can I say? We have the fire minions. We have, well, the fire minions are incredibly helpful. They, more often than not, fire minions are the MVP. They win the game more than you will. Just a fun fact. I ult in here. That is just unfortunate. If that, oof. But a Muzen Cobb just shuts me down. Really does a good job there. We get a deicide, and my boys are going to go in and finish the game, which is great. I'm glad that everybody... I don't know what I didn't remember selling it again, but, you know, whatever. You don't remember everything. But I think they're just going to go in and finish it here. We win the game. Yeah, this is the ending. I think my final score is 8-3, which, all things considered, is not half bad for a SOBEK game, especially against players such as these. If you would like to see more Smite videos, you should like this video and give a description of what kind of Smite video you would like to see in the future in the comments. That would be great. I tend to play mages. My top 3 played are mages, support, and warriors. So basically support, solo lane, and middle lane. I can play the other ones too, but I don't really have fun with it. So, and that's SOBEK's victory SOBEK's victory screen. So yeah, that is the game. And I hope if you guys have any questions, you can leave them in the comments. Otherwise, I hope you all have a wonderful day. And there will be a giveaway / raffle soon, so stay tuned for that. Peace.